Hello, my name is Ryan Runcie, and this is Runcie Studios, artist safe space and art haven. Today is the next part in the clientele series, where I'm going to be talking about commercial projects and commercial commissions. These are usually larger scale, almost always four figures and up. When lucky, five figures. Uh, when you have a bigger name and they trust you to do bigger things, six figures and up. Unfortunately, I'm personally not there yet, but one day. All right. So, we're going to start off like we did last time and go over just the basic names for these clients. There's B2B, um, business deals, business transactions, negotiations, large scale commissions, large scale installations, different things like that. The average time span for these kind of jobs can be anywhere from a week to half of a year. It really depends on the size of the business that you're working with and the way that their systems are set up. Some businesses might be bigger, but they might have older dated systems that takes longer to pay you or takes longer to set up scheduling. But just know that you really want to be flexible and transparent when you're working with larger entities. They're so used to working with different contractors that you're no different than the bunch. Just know what you're doing and be straightforward about what you need and what your price is. So for me, for example, some time spans have been literally a Friday to a Monday. They tell me what they wanted on a Friday, and I had the idea and the conviction and the energy, and I might have worked the entire 48 hours of the weekend, but I got the work done and installed it Monday. And they're not going to be mad at you for doing the work faster. They're business people. Every second they don't have the work in there is another second that people can't see your work and have the chance to buy from you, or support them for supporting a cool artist that they like and want to spend time looking at that art. Some time spans will be much longer. Some clients will set up multiple meetings over a 3-month process so that there's a good dialogue about the idea or the concept and that they feel everyone's on the same page. Sometimes there's multiple meetings to go over designs so that if they feel it's off of what they want, they can guide it a little bit more, or vice versa. So you want that to be very clear from the beginning. And that leads right into the next section pretty well, which is the expectations and boundaries. Like before, expectations are what the business or your client has of you. Boundaries are the expectations you have of your client. Again, they are totally normal and totally needed. Make sure you set up those boundaries early. And fortunately, like I said before, when you're working with larger entities, they have much less desire to try and not pay you or cheat you out of pay, because for them it is an investment, and by paying the proper amount for your art, they know that they're upholding the value of the work as long as they have it. Usually a business's intent is to make money off of what is in the building, so charge them appropriately. In terms of boundaries, this is a little bit different from the private clientele because they are going to come with contracts already. Does not necessarily mean it's a proper artist contract. So this is where it really, really helps to learn some basic artist contract. Some of the things I would want you to look up and read more about if you don't know is artist licensure, intellectual property, copyright infringement, if they are allowed to take down your artwork? If it's like a mural in a public space or a sculpture somewhere, what's the lifespan of the artwork? Does it need to be sealed? Is there a clause that protects how long the artwork will be out there? So all of these things are up to you to negotiate. If you don't protect any of these things, it's more than fair for the client, whether that's the mom and pop shop down the road or Pepsi. It doesn't matter if you waive those rights or make it clear that that's not something of importance to you. There's no going back and undoing a contract. An agreement is an agreement. Once it's signed and dated, and especially once you've executed the contract, in other words, once you've done what the contract is for and you've been paid, there's no way you can go back and change the terms of the agreement because you've already fulfilled and executed the contract. With that said, I will note that there are things called amendments that you can add to contracts that will offer the opportunity or the leverage to change things mid-process. But again, they're mutually agreed upon and cannot be forced onto the other party, nor should they be. I think anytime you try to bring up an amendment later, honestly, I think you look kind of like a fool, because it means you did not do the due diligence to see what you needed to complete a job, or you're trying to hold something that was within your range of knowledge against your client, and that usually makes them not want to work with you again. So just be very aware of that. Make sure that you have everything in order before you work with these clients. Like I said last time, find an organization like I have here in Texas, TALA, T-A-L-A, Texas Accountants and Lawyers Association. They will take care of artists because they are very aware of how hard it is for artists to get the exposure in the first place that they're properly paid for, and that will last them the rest of their life. So especially when we're talking about commercial work, you really want to make sure they're putting your name front and center, they're highlighting what you want to be highlighted, and they're not twisting and changing all that was agreed upon and the intent of the design from where it started. All right, so now we're going to talk about the negotiation differences. This is probably more unexpected for most artists. Sometimes you can walk into a room and it's the sweetest group of people you've ever met. Anything you say sounds like roses and flower petals falling out of your mouth. Just, they love it. They want to see it. No barriers. Just go ahead and make it. We trust you. Other rooms, you can feel that people are thinking for another 200 people behind them that they're representing. And that can be very stressful, but you have to be very sure in your process, and always let them know or remind them they brought you in there because of the work that you've done before. If they don't like that work, or they don't want to see anything in that range, that ballpark, that's okay. Let me know right now. I'm happy to leave. I don't want to waste your time, nor do I need my time wasted. I appreciate you reaching out to me in the first place, but if this is something that you just don't see working well with my style and what I think would fit best for you, that's more than fine. Just let me know. And so you kind of give them that space that they're not used to getting, especially from people that are trying to make sales. They aren't used to people almost rejecting an offer or letting them know that if there's a better offer, stop wasting time trying to buy from them. You know, most artists are pitching themselves and saying why their blues are the best blues and this and that, but the client already knows what you're capable of. So if you feel like you're not really pushing the needle, or they're not really giving you any assurance, you know, you can use tactics like that really let them know I'm not in a point that I'm going to argue with you or struggle to make this deal work. I'm someone that is very keen and aware of what's going on. And if we don't feel like we're on the same page, let me help you, and I'll give you the name of 3 other artists you should reach out to. You know, sometimes their work might be better, but sometimes their work isn't as good as yours. And it's like a way to lift your name a little bit more, say, here's some options that might not be as good as me, but, you know, if you want to come back to me later, I'll still be here. But my boundaries and my expectations for you will remain the same. Right? So there are hundreds of different negotiation tactics. As an artist, you really need to stop thinking just as an artist and that the world needs to bend to you. Because just like plumbers, like electricians, etc., they have all gained very specific set of skills like us, but there are a lot of us out there. So understand that you are in a marketplace, which is other sellers trying to sell their product, whether better or lower quality for higher and lower prices. And of course, at the end of the day, their skills as a salesperson and someone that can negotiate and make connections with their clients, even in commercial settings, will make many more sales than other artists. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you really liked and want more of this topic, you know, feel free to leave comments down below. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be talking about more clientele. But yeah, thanks again, you guys. Take care.